And thank you all again for showing up for another a session of High Vibe Channeling for this March 5th, 2026. And for our second session, it's going to feature me, Ray Heitman, and I have no idea who this being is. I put out a call to say, hey, which of the groups of beings or energies would like to come in, and one that was very crisp and very clear came in and said, we would like to talk. So I'm guessing that it's definitely non-vibrate or non-physical and high vibrational, and we'll see what happens. And we'll let you guys play nice and just ask in the chat, and you can organize your questions that way. And we come before you as altered versions of yourself, as more expanded versions of your beingness, as less constricted energetic representations of the form you have chosen. And we wish to remind you that although much is going on within and on your planet, there is more going on outside of it, waiting for not the dust to settle, but for the mixing to be done so that it will be prepared and ready for the events which you have chosen to become a part of, which you have literally chosen how they will come to you by your actions, your thoughts, your deeds, where your thoughts originate from, your mind or your hearts. We are pleased that none of this is a surprise to you, for indeed there are great percentages, the vast majority, which are unaware of these types of concepts, let alone practice them and can organize them in their mental ways. But there are many beings around you, and if you wish to view them all as angels, then do so. Those positive connotations of those beings will help you because they have energies imbued within them once they cross into the astral realm in ways of your understanding. Because there have been many such excursions which have helped a great many of your types, your civilizations. And all of that love is focused on that loving representation of being an angel. Now, yes, there are some who believe in the dark angels, which are, of course, illusory and unreal in many ways, unless, of course, you believe within and about them. But that is a fallacy which does not extend beyond your mental capacities. It does enable lower vibrational energies to be utilized to a greater and an easier degree because there are energies, as you know, which adapt to frequencies and which resonate closely with them. that chaos, those deeds of destruction are part of those, but they are merely the flip side of energy. Those labels do not work outside of your realm. We have chosen to come before you this time, this day, your evening, for our own benefit. For we wish to explore this reality as we are non physical in nature and in ways have never been, although we are attached to beings who have had those experiences. But this was an opportunity. It is also a preparation, and not only for us to explore your reality further, but to help adjust this biological being for greater energies and tasks and integrations in his linear unfoldment yet to be. Now, that may not be a nice fit for your particular groups or your situations, but it is what you have created as well. And we are supporting each of you. And we wish for you to close your eyes for a moment while we insert more of our energy into your hearts. And we are going to let it rise up into your throats. So you will know it is our energy. It is supportive. It is loving. It is what you have done for many beings in other realms. We are merely reminding you of yourself. And if you have questions for us, we will provide you with answers in the scopes which are relevant for you.
Greetings.
And to you,
Thank you. You spoke of what we do in other realms. And I was advised to look at something and it was supposed to trigger like memories and it didn't. And I'm wondering, why did my higher self choose such a high level of restriction on what I can remember?
there are several answers for that. But have faith you did receive what you asked for. Understand that you chose the timing to reveal that information to you. Part of that is a test to see how long or if you would maintain your faith that what you did, and you did do it correctly in the eyes of intent and longing and desire. You have no firm contradicting beliefs, but you have some doubts which help to keep it at bay, but those will fade as well. Now, there are other yous who have already received and are rejoicing at receiving that information. Can you picture them in your mind?
Yes.
They are next to you. They are not separate from you. But if you pull that emotion related to that event into your manifesting abilities, your power, your focus, you will find you may have a different answer and not so much in the morning. We suggest you give it 2 days of your time and that you keep that focus, that excitement of receiving and knowing that your higher self did not leave you astray and never leaves you, and in fact holds you in the warmest, loving hug that we will not say you can imagine, but greater than what you can experience in your physical form. And it is natural to have doubts. You are in a world of dichotomy where things happen or do not happen. It is rather easy to lose sight that they all happen. It is just you are unaware of that apparent contradiction, which is in fact more of a fulfillment of the reason why you have come. And we thank you for your question.
Thank you very much. They're all quiet.
We would like to make a correction that they are not quiet. They merely are not speaking.
Hmm.
Yeah, I have a question. First, I want to say thank you so much for interacting with us this evening. It's a great benefit to us all, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
You are welcome and very kind. And you would not be the Anita that we all know and love without expressing yourself and your delights and appreciation before you take care of your needs.
Well, thank you. My question is there any advice that you would have for this group? We know that we are all safe in this time of uh, interesting happenings, I would say. Um, but any advice as to how we can best navigate and have choose the best timeline for ourselves at this uh, big decision making.
Are you sure you would like the answer?
Um, yes.
It involves all of this group.
Okay.
And the way to best do that is to share energy with each other. And that requires action on your parts. It requires logistics on your parts in ways, for you have not developed your mental capacity sufficiently so that you know when another person is considering you or sending you love or supportive energies or even healing energies. So you may
Mhm.
have to reach out through your devices, and that requires a sharing of information, an outreach of vulnerability, of giving something of yourself to another. But in doing so, in having these connections, in building this merging of energies, you integrate more support within each of you for all of you. That is why these groupings feel so calm and so energetic at the same time. For you are building a familial unit. You are solidifying yourself within not only a group, but within a cause, within transformative energies, within the higher realms which are united for you, in you, among you, and with you.
Beautiful.
Now, we do understand that there are time frames or differences that have divided your planet. So you may have to work with those, but
Mhm.
just sending a message. How are you today? Are you feeling that energy? Or I appreciate you being with our group. I appreciate you being my friend. I appreciate your role in open contact. And it need not be more than that. But if you feel called to do so, please do. But you all have these busy lives, and you wonder how you can fit in one more relationship. And we are here to tell you and to remind you it need not take more than a few seconds.
Yes.
But that
Yes.
is an action you can choose to take. And each person that you reach out to will help build the energy among you all. It is all
Beautiful.
connected. And many
Yes.
of you know there are others who have not really left the group, but who are not as active in it as they once were. That is for their growth. No one
Mhm.
ever leaves. They merely pursue different priorities according to the beliefs they believe is good for them. Their hearts still swim amongst this energy. Their minds still look back fondly at the energies and the feelings that they have taken and built into memories,
Yes.
even if they never show up again. This is a special group. It has its own energetic portal, which allows more and more beings to come through, to flow through into you. And on other levels, you are all willing to allow these types of expansions, these types of access, so that other beings who are friends and family of yours in ways of your speaking from higher levels can get a glimpse and learn from you and obtain observations and perceptions of those around you as well. Humans sometimes think that they have to give permission from where they are, but that is not the way that true reality works. For those permissions always flow with the necessity of the desires and the potential outcomes desired. by the consciousness, which is the impetus for these forays into different realms. So connect with each other, build on that circle, and do
Thank you.
not do your best, and do not do your best. Please do your best, but do your best to know the circle remains unbroken and you are stronger within it.
Mhm. I can see that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And for the channel, we have given him the physical call sign permission slip, which he has in his hands, and they are molded together in this way. And he can use that to call us back again, and we will make it known. Although you are seeing it from one view, it will help to remind him. And if you would care to bestow a name upon us, we will use that to connect with you as well. It need not be a group name, merely something to provide a more direct access from your physical mind to our energy.
I wouldn't know what name to choose. Could you simply give us a name?
But the name would be different for each of you.
We could call you the philosophers.
As you wish.
That's a good one. Thank you, Christiana.
Or it can be even associated with a physical act. And not that we are the canine variety, but if you have a special whistle, which means something to you, and you whistle for us and smile and know we are coming, you will find us there. You have all opened up greater access to not only more parts of your being, but to those beings who are supporting you, who wish to have a more personal contact, we will say, in the transformation of your world, and to lift you up, because that is what love does. That is what these beings are. That is what we are. That is what you are. Only we never forget. And you remind us how precious that is. Not only the forgetting, but the intent and the focus to remember through your actions, through opening up your energies. It is a wonderful thing to be part of. And thank you for letting us be part of this with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And may the light shine upon you in your deepest originations, your thought forms, which came forth and created a realm for you to inhabit. That is also you, as everything you experience is you and your heart space. You may think, or others may think, it is of a mind. It is of a divine mind. You are all thoughts within it. But you are special simply because you are here. You chose this role to explore and to teach others. That is why you came for the most part. Sure, your souls will expand and they will revel in the gifts of energy and information you provide. But you all have grander aspirations of being able to pass on the information from this density to other beings. And they will choose to accept that information, and they may choose to utilize it by combining it with other beings, other types of energies to create something new.
I would like to thank you for coming and showing us, as well as humanity, that our help doesn't just come from a physical representation of someone or something, that we have support from the energetic realms that are not in physical form or even visible to us. It makes me think of faith that even though I can't see, I feel this. And that is even more of a space of support for each of us. Just knowing that even though we don't see, it does not mean that we do not have the support and guidance from many.
You are correct, and thank you for that. Now, in one parting gift, we are going to ask you to hold out one palm, one hand in front of you slightly, and we are going to take that hand, and may you feel the energy coming into you. We are not used to this density, but we appreciate you being here for us to speak to you. And we appreciate speaking through this one. And we bid you a good night from the heart
Yvonne,
of the universe. Yes.
uh, Yvonne wanted to ask a question.
Yes, I wanted to make a comment and ask a question. Each time that I listen to a channel, certain things pop up that I really enjoy and would like to use. And today you used the term linear unfoldment. And I just wanted to say I really like that. And I think that that would be something I may want to use in the future, linear unfoldment. But my question is that towards the end there was quite a vocal change. And that made me wonder if there was another entity that came in. Were there two of you?
There are many different forms of consciousness which are coming forth through one voice. This is indeed a different energetic representation than the prior group which came through for you. They were paving the way, and we were observing, and they allowed us to flow through the portal of energy which they had found and energized.
Okay, thank you.
And we thank you.
Do you have any additional information that would be of benefit to this group? Anything more that you would like to share with us?
Focus on your balance, on your harmony, on keeping an even keel, tinged with optimism, with hope. It is fine to have the energetic ups and downs. That is not only the nature of your reality, but the nature of the cells, of the atoms which form the various parts of you. They all have their ups and downs, their in and out. But if you keep reminding yourself that you are harmony, you are centered, you are love's expression, and it is a variable expression, not meant to be steady, for that is not the realm you have chosen. You are on the surface of an ocean of exploration, and at times it is still, and other times it will throw you around a bit. But knowing that you are safe in the vessel you have designed and chosen, as you all know you are safe, has been brought before you in this evening of your sessions. That will help sustain you as well, and even perhaps to laugh off the thoughts contrary to that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. That is most helpful.
Hmm.
What did you feel, Ray?
I know my hands were clenched tight, and it wasn't really a mudra. It was a special way they had me hold my hands. and that was apparently the call sign or whatever. But
If you wanted to get a hold of them again, if
and
you
I
wanted
saw,
to establish contact.
yeah,
Okay.
and that second being that came through, they just swooped on in, and the other one was just kind of like, "Oh, okay." I mean, I don't think it was more, it was a flow, but I don't think that the first group, I don't know, they just swooped in. And whenever they were talking about holding your guys' hands, I had all of these intense blue flashes of light,
Hmm.
like the phosphenes when you push on your eyes and you see all those. And they were just focused on that. Did anybody feel that when they took a hand? Oh,
It felt warm.
yeah, that's what they were imbuing. And they said internally to me, they were like, and some people may feel it go up their arms. So cool. Because I didn't know my hands were just clenched so tight. That's one of the things I was doing off camera was like trying to get my hands back. Like, golly. That was fun.
Christiana came up with a name for the first group, the philosophers.
We'll
So,
take that. Now, for me, that was more feminine energy
mm,
than the other. Not that there
mhm.
aren't,
Thank you.
incredible
Um,
feminine philosophies. I'm not saying that that's not it, but because I think that fits. But whatever you guys
funny,
wanted.
funny you say that, Ray, because in that moment, I felt, um, I felt a hand in mine, and it felt like a child's hand, and I just felt my own maternal energy, as if and there's a lot of things that go along with that in my own reality right now, but that's what I was feeling. I just felt like the mother energy in my and a child putting their hand in mine.
Yeah, they're still here.
Cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Ray, do you remember who they said they were? I wasn't quite clear.
They
Um,
didn't have a name, but they actually wanted each person to give them their own name. And that way they could come to you when you thought about that name. They would be drawn to you. And that way it would be something personal to each of you that you would have a certain emotional resonance with, that they could identify you and come to you.
Well, we can do that without a
I
name.
Right.
I
Yeah, I
think
know. But they were like, well, if you pick a name that gives you physical action to help anchor that pathway into your reality. And then they said, like, well, if you have a special whistle
Right.
and whistle for them. And as long as you have that intention and you're thinking about them, then they will show up.
Wow.
what I mean is not a name as far as who they are. I mean like who they are. I thought you said something about we represent all of you or all parts of you. What do you remember that?
Well, they were speaking from a voice of oneness, the very
Okay.
first ones who came in. And because everyone in this group allowed them to come through in that way, they just viewed it, you're us now. We're all you.
Okay.
Because once they have connected, then they connect with all of you.
Mm,
And they were not, and in my understanding, the second group that came in was a higher vibrational group of entities than the first one. But the
mm,
first ones were non-physical.
mm.
But there was so much power. I mean, they straightened me up in my chair and they're like, no, we're doing this. We're aligning all your chakras. We're coming through. It was like, okay, whatever you want to do.
When I first started learning to channel, I remember that there were always a bunch of energies floating around that I felt were just watching, waiting, listening. You know, there was one of them that presented as, I used to call it the green mist. It was like a green misty thing, but I wasn't ready yet. You know, when all this was going on, I would just get visual images. I didn't, nothing came through vocally at that time. But I was thinking about Heidi last week, I guess it was, when she had God knows how many entities coming through at once, right? That was just incredible. So I think that these energies that are coming through you, Ray, you know, they're just they're floating around all the time. You
Hmm.
know, you just have to say, "Oh yeah, okay, come on, I'll let you in." But I think that all of us, especially in groups like this, have these energies just watching and waiting, you know, and when it's time, they'll say, okay, here we come. You know, I know, Cludston, you have some of that, right? That you'll just, I don't know, go somewhere and they'll talk through you. Cludston?
Yeah, for me, I'll just study a topic or a book uh and take notes, and then once I start talking, I forget about all that. So, you know.
Cool. We got a schedule for you if you want to pop in one day, Cledston.
Will prepare myself.
Yeah, but it's to me, and it's not like, I care who comes through or what they talk about. And I'm like, more beings? Not that I want to restrict any of them, but it's like
Mhm.
I don't even know that I can keep track if I had to list them all.
Mhm.
And like, I don't know that the U beings have ever come back. I don't know that the ones that did the galactic healer have ever come back. And not that they need to, like one entity, they said that they've already gotten everything that they need to learn from you and your reality. So they've moved on to other things. Why do you want them to come back? Well, that curiosity, well, your curiosity, you already know it on another level. So
Mhm.
if they want to come back for seconds, they will. I'm like, okay, I'm just curious.
I could, I completely understand that. I've thought about that many times throughout the years, how beings have come early on in my journey. And I don't want to say like have never returned, but it was like that was the frequency that I was in at that moment, just like the radio station, the TV station. It was like I tuned to that at that moment, and that was what I needed at that moment, or maybe that's what I needed to share with, whatever was recorded in that moment. And there just, I guess, hasn't been a need to return. If that's the way we want to look at it, as returning, but it's not really like that. It's us just, where our focus is in that moment. And I do feel like that, like I was flying through all kinds of radio stations, and I've often wondered about that. Like, why don't I communicate with them now?
Been there,
And
done that.
Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Well, and it could be a test drive too, because like in another 20 years, we are going to be drawing in more of our higher self on a regular basis. We will just know that that is a grander part of us, and we will
Yes,
identify with that. So, from this point of view, we may be channeling more than we're speaking right now.
yes,
And
absolutely.
it'll just be all one and the same. We don't
20
care where it comes from, but somebody
Right.
asks us a
And that's
question.
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
It's all one and the same. And I think we're going to realize that the more and
Hmm.
more, and I've realized that the more and more that if so-called channeling, that I'm, it's just more and more of all that we are. And
It's synchronicity and flow. Like for instance, if
Yeah.
we have a question, we're like, tell me more about those power plants underneath the Sphinx and the pyramids of Giza. And the physical self might not know, but that information will automatically flow to us so that we have it for that experience and can relay it. Because there won't be any questions that we can't answer for the most part. We just have to search, and not really physically, I guess, but we have to understand we have access to that field of information and draw it to us.
I think that's why we have so few questions so often, is because I feel like it, I already, inside of me, I feel like I already know the answer. I don't need to, as soon as I ask the question, either, in my mind, or it's like I've already received the information as soon as I've asked for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think one of the cool things about participating in these channeling exercises is that we could connect to the beings that you are connecting to or whoever is channeling to. It because we're in that energy, it's a lot easier while we're participating in the channeling. But we could connect to that, and when we might have a question, that information just comes to us as if we asked the question and the channeler responded. And it's a really cool experience to be able to do that. And I think the awesome reality that we're creating here is that we all have the ability to connect to all of these things, but everyone's own perspective has their own version of all these different beings that I couldn't connect to your version of the beings that you brought through without connecting it through you. Now I have that connection, and I could bring that through, however, for myself or whatever, and that's why we gather and do these things. So it's very exciting.
I find myself having a very, I don't know how to explain the feeling that I have, but with Yvonne, I, I don't know how to explain it. Like I'm so in tune with that energy.
Excellent.
It just so flows with me, like, and it, and then I'm reminded right now that I have, my grandmother's name was Evelyn. I have a niece named Eve. So it just, there was something about the flow of that energy and that frequency that it just, I feel so familiar.
It feels very close, like it's, a near relative or something like that. Like, she's tapping into us and speaking from our own heart at times. And
Mhm.
I think that's kind of fascinating.
Well, great. Well, there was one other gentleman from New Zealand who has told me he's channeled Eve a couple of times. I don't think she's particularly, I don't think she cares. You know, she's happy to come through anybody who will allow her in, I'm sure. Uh,
Yeah.
but I suspect because whenever you're channeling, it's affected by you, right? Like it's affected by you. So I suspect, although I don't know for sure, and I've never asked her, that people who are feeling that energy or are able to channel her besides me we're somewhere in our energetic family. We're
Yes, that's how it feels for me. I can't, I really can't explain it any other way, I guess.
Yeah, well, I think we can't all be here doing this together if we're not within the
Somehow,
same family.
right.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
Well, and it's, what did Bashar say about the number of oversouls per the number of souls here on Earth?
It wasn't like 250,000 oversouls
Only
yeah.
that we all share. So you would, it only stands to reason that we would find such familiarity.
Yeah, and even thinking of that linearly is not even accurate because the
Exactly.
oversouls share each other also.
And this is such an infinite thing, as
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. It's
such an
infinite.
infinite thing.
And at that level, I mean, just being exposed to that energy, we just integrate it. It becomes part of
Yes.
us. So, and I think this has come through before. I know Dave has mentioned this before. Whenever we come into contact with any energy, any consciousness, we're in touch with every related consciousness to
Right,
that.
right.
Their
Hmm.
higher self,
Yes.
their higher self, their higher
Hmm.
self.
Correct.
So it's just a wellspring of connections.
That's right. And that's like you have said, when you meet someone, you meet all of them. You meet all of their lives. You don't just meet that one tiny portion of them. So that all of them, their energy would become
We're
part of
looking at,
you.
we're looking at nearly 8 billion people on this
Yeah.
planet only sharing a couple 100,000 oversouls.
Mhm.
There's no, and then of course, like you said, like we're talking about, and then each of those oversouls are connected to each other, etc., etc., etc.
Right,
So
right.
just now being able to even touch our toe into the pond of that understanding.
And we can take that into
Ripple
our
effects.
world as well. When we connect with one tree, know we are connecting with every tree. When we
Right.
are connecting with one drop of water, we are connecting with all sacred waters. When we
Mhm.
feel one breeze, we connecting with every breeze on the planet, every wind spirit. And the same thing goes, with every cat or every beetle. Heaven
And not
forbid we
only
should all be sharing the same dust, but I guess that's true.
and not only that version of the water or the tree or the
Yeah,
bug, but
yeah.
every version of those in every reality, in every possibility we're connecting to all of that.
And then I think as I'm sharing, as I'm guided to or excited to share this level of information, if that's, yeah, I think doesn't everybody already know this? Like, you know, it seems like it's just sort of common sense now, but is it really that out of those 8 billion people here, how many people actually have even begun to
Contemplate this.
perfect contemplate this?
Excuse me, am I the only one having trouble hearing Wendy and Dave?
No, they're sitting farther away
Oh,
from their
sorry. Are we
microphone.
too far away? I'm sorry you said that. I thank you for saying that. Are we too far
Oh,
away from the phone? Sorry.
thank you. That's so
Oh
much
yeah, we
better.
have the
Sorry about that. Thank
we
you for saying that. We just had the camera close to the fire,
yeah,
so you could
Oh,
see it.
and it's
okay.
pointing toward the fire, so the mic
Yeah.
doesn't pick up the
They need
opposite
to
direction.
yell at us.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Hey, it's all fun and good times, and thank you all for being part of this. I just can't get enough of this stuff.
I know you amaze me, Ray, because I've said before, like, I don't know how you do it, but I've heard you say like, oh, I spent the whole day channeling, and I'm like, how can he do that? That would just exhaust me, I think. Although I will say that I'm never quite sure. Sometimes when I do a session, it energizes me. And the session is over and I'm all in it. But sometimes it just drains me, and I don't know what the difference is or why, but I can't imagine channeling for 8 or 9 or 10 hours, in a row. I just,
Oh, yeah, 3 hours is about the most that I've ever done
oh, okay.
at one time. I mean, but like I've channeled six beings in one day, so
Just take a break and start again.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not a very long break because, I have 5 or 6 groups that are with me all the time. That's why it only takes seconds for them to come in. And other beings like those two who came in tonight, they take a little bit longer, but it seems to me like they're all using the basic communication conduit that the future Pleiadians access and keep open. And they're connected with this property that I'm on. They
All
they
right.
put 2 gemstones as part of the U-shaped structure of gemstones under my house. And that active helps activate that connection. And the 2 gemstones that they added are not of the earth.
Wow.
So, and I activated it whenever I moved into this house.
Mhm.
So the benefits
Cool.
of working outside the timelines, you can come in and just put stuff where you need it when you need it.
Does that mean you can't move, Ray?
Um, I'm definitely going to keep this house even if I get another one, I'll tell you, because I'm not letting it go. Plus,
That's
it's
going to
home. It's
be
home.
a challenge for you, Cludston, when you move. Cludston is thinking of moving within the year. Is setting up your new place to be as comfortable and available as where you're living now.
We just set it up that way. We'll just set it up like we set up this one. Crystals in every corner of the yard and the house, and uh, temples everywhere, or people. What did you call it? The grids.
Yeah, the grids.
So it's just a matter of setting those up again.
Yeah. But, we get comfortable, and that's why we shake ourselves up
Yep.
because we're like, well, we're not learning enough right here. We're going to go ahead and
Right.
do something different.
Right.
You know.
So, as Eve has said in her closing, we create our own reality. And that is
Mhm.
literally and in totality, that we're really just higher vibrational beings pretending to have a physical experience. And
Yeah.
we're
Mhm.
always connected to all things at all times. And we're just pretending to be physical and creating these linear connections and linear experiences. And we get to individually and collectively write our own story. And it's just up to us to decide what that story is going to be.
Yep. Absolutely. And as part of my story, I'm hungry. So I'm gonna
I
go
think
eat
it.
something and
I think it.
hopefully see you
Well,
all
thank
again.
you, Yvonne and Eve
I
and
think it's
Argus.
awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I
Yes.
will
I
see
think
you
it's
all
awesome
again
to
shortly, I'm
Thank
sure.
experience
you.
the physical.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You
Thank you.
are
Thank
also
you.
welcome.
Bye.
Toodaloo.
Good night.
Bye.
Woohoo.
Physical indeed.
Yep. And we're going to keep it going, but I'm going to wrap up the session
The
recording.
fire's